Namaskar, good afternoon. You're watching Newsroom 365. I'm Swati Joshi.
Good afternoon and a very warm welcome. My name is Amita Vadva. So the topic of discussion today that we're going to take forth is the topic that has sparked of a major debate, and that came in from the Infosys co-founder Narayan Murthy on his suggestion that he gave that especially when it comes to the Indian youngsters that must commit at least 70 hours of their time per week to enhance the country's competitiveness on a global scale.
This has led to a nationwide debate now. He said India's work productivity one of the lowest in the world, and youngsters must say this is my country, will work 70 hours a week. Now, the statement was made during a podcast conversation, but after the statement, many have come out to criticize him for his statement.
Now, as far as Mr. Murthy is concerned, he drew parallels to Japan and Germany and countries that have implemented the extended working hour system, and he also talked about other topics like nation building, technology, where his company Infosys is also involved, and others as well.
We have Imran joining us in the broadcast with more details. Imran, a lot of reactions coming in on social media. This has also led to a nationwide debate now with people, wanting to put their views forward after Mr. Murthy said youngsters should be prepared to work for 70 hours.
Well, yes, absolutely. This social media is lit up with comments on both sides. One supporting the statement made by Narayan Murthy, and an overwhelming majority also criticizing him over his statement. Now, Murthy has said that because India is a young workforce, there are a lot of challenges that India has, and youngsters need to put in a lot of more hours into the work. He said up to 70 hours a week, so that they can productive level should be increased, and we have to compete in a global market. That comment of his has not gone down well with many on social media, criticizing Narayan Murthy for saying that he's treating the workforce, especially youngsters, as coolies rather than as his own statement that they have to put in 70 hours a week. Many social media said that this is exploitation on the part of the corporate companies, and this Narayan Murthy's statement is a direction towards that point, treating people as just coolies, and it's a workforce exploitation. Whereas others, industry heads, have come out in support of saying that we're a deprived country, we are competing with the global market, and hence youngsters need to put in more work, and they're giving examples other countries like Japan and other countries, and say that there's nothing wrong in what Narayan Murthy has said. In fact, it's not
actually,
enforcing on
when
anybody.
The statements that have been coming in, and all of the viewers who are watching the program right now, you have the telephone numbers there or flashing on your screens, and you're more than welcome to share your opinion. We'll take your point of view live on air on Times Now right now. I'm told that we have a viewer from Bengaluru. Purohit is joining us. Yes, sir, what's your take?
Work for 12 hours. Our army fellows can work for 12 hours. Our contract workers normally work for 12 hours. There is no problem in others working for 12 hours. It will increase our productivity. Because in fact, the 8-hour work also is not normally 8 hours. In between, they take rest and all those things. So there is nothing wrong in Mr. Narayan Murthy's call.
Okay, so you agree with what Mr. Narayan Murthy has said. Now, in fact, to break down his statement, he says that youngsters should say that for the country, they will work for 70 hours a week. Let's listen into what Mr. Murthy said.
It is the responsibility of every Indian, but more so the youth, to consolidate on that respect and to enhance that respect manifold. And as I have said many times before, the only way the world will respect anybody is performance, based on performance. That's where I often used to say performance leads to recognition, recognition leads to respect, and respect leads to power. China is a great example. So therefore, my request to all the wonderful youth of this country is that realize this and work 12-hour days for the next 20 years, 50 years, whatever it is, so that India too becomes a number one nation or number two nation, whatever it is, in terms of its GDP. And remember, even if we become bigger than US, our per capita
income will be much lower.
Will be much more than where we are today, but still be much less than the US. It is the responsibility of every Indian, but more so the youth, to consolidate on that respect and to enhance that respect many-fold. And as I have said many times before, the only way the world will respect anybody is performance, based on performance. That's where I often used to say performance leads to recognition, recognition leads to respect, and respect leads to power. China is a great example. So therefore, my request to all the wonderful youth of this country is that realize this and work 12-hour days for the next 20 years, 50 years, whatever it is, so that India too becomes a number one nation or number two nation, whatever it is, in terms of its GDP. And remember, even if we become bigger than US, our per capita
income will be much lower.
Will be much more than where we are today, but still be much less than the US.
Well, that has often led as far as many of those people, and especially the younger generation, divided in a way. Let me go across to our viewers, Rajendran and Prashanti, both of them from Bengaluru, joining in. Rajendran ji, what is your point of view as far as the statement that has been made by Mr. Murthy?
Yeah, good morning. This is Rajendran from Bangalore. See, I accept that the people are the youngsters should work for 70 hours. But actually they are working more than 70 hours, but because the commuting time itself is taking sometimes 4 hours. Commuting time has to be also considered as a work. If they are working from home, they should always create such a congenial work. If everybody is working from home, there is no problem working in 70 hours.
In some countries, actually, they do take into account the commute timing. And yes, you're saying better facilities need to be provided if you want that kind of work. Thank you very much, Rajendran. We have Prashanti joining us from Bengaluru as well. Prashanti, good afternoon to you. Please go ahead. What are your views?
Yes, good afternoon. I also agree with Mr. Rajendran. Whatever Mr. Narayan Swami is saying is very, it is not normal, or it is not accepted, because this you can only impose this in the public, in the private sector. You cannot ask the government officials to do, because they are all being governed by labor laws and other things. And one more thing I want to bring to your notice, can you even ask our courts to work like that? They are still in the colonial era, having summer vacation, winter vacation, and all sorts of vacations, which those people, at least, the judges were from UK, so they had to get back to their homes.
In fact, what you are saying, and Mr. Narayan Murthy agrees in a way, because he's highlighted also a need to improve productivity in India and also sort out government details, especially when it comes to bureaucracy and the delays. Thank you very much for joining us with your point of view. I'm told also we have Ramachandran joining us from Bengaluru. Yes, sir, what's your take?
3 points I have. One is, what he is talking about is actually regular work. But what is important is when you are talking about research or development, such activities, this 70 hours cannot be. I was working in ISRO, so I can tell you it doesn't actually commensurate with whatever he is telling as 70 hours. One. Second is what is actually, we can get respect from all over the world, but the most essential part, as a happy nation, India is faring way behind. Actually, this will spoil the happiness in the new. Actually, already we are having nuclear houses, so this will create more issues, because both of them are working. Then this issue will be magnified more.
Okay, you're saying this is going to add on to the stress of individuals and the families, and you're also saying that the world is shifting away from this kind of a work culture. We have Ali joining us from Pune. Ali, do you agree with Mr. Murthy?
That he hasn't done anything for job creation, and there's huge unemployment. It's still giving Mr. Modi and the BJP a clean chit. It's as simple as that. Thank you.
All right, I'm told that Captain Jaspal is also with us here on the broadcast. Yes, Captain, what's your take? Of course, there are different dimensions that are also being looked into, because lots needs to be included and lots also need to be looked upon as far as, one being able to work for that many hours in a week, sir.
Good afternoon. It is very sad. I think the age has caught up with him.
though the greed has caught up with him. How can you work on computers for 10 hours a day and be answerable to the greedy people? What will happen to the youth of this nation? He should apologize and withdraw this statement.
Okay.
If he is in his proper sense and proper state of mind.
Okay, you're saying the statement needs to be withdrawn, but that's his view. Thank you very much, Captain Saab. We have some breaking inputs coming in now. Bhavish Agarwal, the CEO of Ola Cabs, has also joined the chorus, and he says he agrees with the Murthy's views. Pratibha is getting us more details on that. Yes, Pratibha.
Yes, amid the anger over Narayan Murthy's statement, let's see what Bhavish Agarwal is saying. He's also facing some flack for joining into what the Infosys founder has said. Here's what his social media post says. Totally agree with Mr. Murthy's views. It's not our moment to work less and entertain ourselves. Rather, it's our moment to go all in and build in one generation what other countries have built over many generations. So the Ola Cab CEO coming out in support of the Infosys founder Narayan Murthy.
Right, and such a